Right, I'm back. Hope you've watched part one. I've spent doing the Sabatier knife sharpening. I've spent about 10 minutes each side. I've ground a nice edge in both sides, as even as I can. Now the way I test whether it's sharp is take your two fingers here, use the pads because they're very sensitive, and you just place them on the blade like so, and just gently push down and try to slide your finger along, only very slightly. And as you press and as you try and slide, you'll feel it try to grip your finger, and as it grips your finger and your finger won't slide along, you know it's pretty sharp. It's just on the verge. Obviously if you pushed harder and slid harder, you would cut your finger, because this side, the back end, I can do that. Obviously this side, you're just very gentle, just try and get it for camera for you, just very gentle with those two pads there, just medium pressure, and just slowly try to slide them, and you'll just feel it gripping your finger. And when you get to the point of it gripping your finger, then you know you've got your sharp edge. And I'll just do a couple of more swipes for you, just keeping it nice and flat. Because I've ground the edge, and I'm just doing it this way now, just to get the whole length of the knife. Obviously I can do it quicker than that, like so. Because it's such a long knife, I'm going to stop halfway, just check that it's flat all the way, like so. You can do it quicker than that. Just nice and steady all the way along. Take your time, there's no rush. Nice and flat. And then it's the finger test on, you'll feel it trying to cut into your finger. Obviously stop before it cuts, but you'll get the idea. You'll just feel it, it just stops, your finger stops, like so. And this is actually, as you probably realise, quite a flexible knife, because it's long and it's designed for slicing. It's probably only maybe 1.5 mil the stock, or obviously it is a full tank. So we've finished on the 1000 side, now we've got our edge. We want to go on to the 6000 now. So just get your 6000 nice and clean, and obviously with some water on. How have we been going? A couple of minutes, okay, 27, no problem. Now this is where you start to, now you've got the rough grind and you've got your sharp edge. To refine that edge, this is where you start honing. There's a couple of marks on it, but I will polish this blade up at the end just to make it look a bit nicer for my friend. But it's the same principle, same angle, but you're not cutting into the blade, you're coming back away from the blade and honing like so. Just nice and steady. If you need to put the knife back on again, no problem, like so. And the more practice you get, the better you'll get. Try and keep that same angle. I mean, yes, if you wish, you can do it bit by bit, like so. I mean, you might have a wider stone than me. They do come wider than this, but this stone is, you know, you can sharpen pretty much any blade on this stone. You don't need a bigger stone than this. It might help a little bit, but if you just want to hone that maybe 3 or 4 times, make sure it's nice and flat. Then obviously you want to do the same the other side, so I shall do that. Obviously I'm going away from the cutting edge again, like so, same angle. Just smoothly, if you wish, do a bit of the blade at a time. If you need to put your finger on the blade to keep it flat against the stone, that's not a problem, like so. You're just refining the sharp edge you've already put on the stone. That's all we're doing now. You're going to do that a few times. Like so. You just keep doing that all the way along the blade. Like so. If you spend as many hours as I have sharpening knives, it does become second nature. It's all about muscle memory. It's just like anything you do in life. The more you do it, the more your muscles don't have to think about doing it. Like driving. You've been driving for many years, you don't think about changing gear, you just do it. It's like walking. You don't think left foot, right foot, you just put one foot in front of the other because you've been doing it all your life. So we'll do that again. I'll just wipe the blade off. We'll have a quick look at the edge. I've only got a very narrow edge. Because it's such a thin stock, we don't need a particularly high bevel on it. But that's looking okay. And the more you hone it, the more polished it will get and the sharper it will get. And you're just making the bigger scratches from the 1000 stones into smaller scratches. So the micro serrations that you've got off the 1000 stone will be getting smaller and smaller off the 6000 stone. So that is the principle. So same again. Just nice and smooth, take your time. Unless you're quite proficient, my recommendation is take your time, do a good job, and you won't have to start again. Because if you accidentally catch the blade at the wrong angle, you'll knacker the edge up you've worked hard on, and you'll be back to square one with that part of the blade. So recommend you take your time until you become more confident and proficient. But it is really quite basic. You know, as long as you follow the steps and make sure they're nice and flat, you can't really go wrong. I think my stone might just need grinding down a little bit there, but it's alright for now. So now we've done that, what I'm going to do now, you've got a soft piece of wood, just a scrap piece of wood lying about, which I've got for my knives anyway. You might just see there, just slightly darker spots in the wood where I've run a knife through, and it removes. You're going to have a micro burr, which is where the metal curls over one side, and the best way is to just put the knife, don't press hard, just the weight of the knife basically, in the what's it, and just draw it through the wood like that. Now you'll see just there the darkness. Now that's the metal that's come off the end of the blade from just doing that. You just do that 2 or 3 times. And as you'll see again just there the dark bit, that's the burr that's coming off the knife. Be careful if you wipe it on your trousers, because if you were to do that and cut your leg, your femoral arteries here, if you can see my leg here, and yeah, you'd be dead in a few minutes, so be careful. So I'm just going to do that just another couple of times, like so, just nice and steady through the wood. Now that's got rid of the burr. Now that is sharp. Just to show you that it is sharp. Remember how blunt it was in video 1. I mean, it isn't as sharp as it will be, but beforehand it was tugging and ripping the paper, and now it's slicing through nicely. But we haven't finished yet. Now we've deburred it, we're going to go onto the stone again, And we're going to do exactly the same again. Just nice and steady along the blade. Just honing that edge just a little bit more. Like so. At least once this is done, my friend Emma will be able to cut a Sunday joint up and not worry about it. So it's just along and along and along as we've done before, nice and steady. And as I said, if you want to just do a part of the blade at a time, it's not a problem. It's not a problem. As long as you get all the blade and do even number of strokes pretty much on each side and on each part of the blade, considering this is such a long knife. Just check your angle. It's like in carpentry and the like, they always say measure twice, cut once. So measure it once, then measure it again. I mean, I would probably measure it again and maybe even again, just to be 100% sure that you've got the right measurement. And if you've got a piece of wood and it's 1/8 inch too short, too late, once it's cut, it's cut. There's nothing you can do about it. So I'm just going to do it once more, each side of the blade, always going away from the cutting edge, remember, not into the cutting edge, because we've already ground the edge in. That's the hard work. That took maybe 20 minutes, I'd say. I did stop to have a drink, but from start to finish, took 10 minutes aside to grind the edge in, because the knife was so blunt. The edge wasn't really, it didn't really have an edge as such. So the same angle, as best you can. With practice, you'll be able to, you just feel it like so. I mean, I can go quicker if I wish. I just want to get the principles across to you, the principles of sharpening and how you get a knife, what I would call nice and sharp. I'm just going to bring the knife right across a couple of times, like so. Doesn't really matter whether you're up, down or across, so long as you're going away from the cutting edge, like so. It seems I've actually got a couple of high spots on my stone, I think, so it might be a good idea to go across the stone in this case. But this is where practice comes in. You get to learn, you learn to know your stones and how to do it, etc. So just one more sweep each side, just for good measure. Just one more sweep each side, all the way along the blade, like so. Always keeping it nice and flat. Use your thumb if you need to. I'll just pop that there, put that back in my little container with my water, keep the stone wet, because I probably haven't finished yet. I'm probably going to do another knife or two tonight, I don't know. I have got work to do tomorrow and it's 20 to 11 at night. But at the moment here in the UK we're having some stormy weather and I can't do my job in stormy weather as such. So luckily I've got a friend who's asked me to do some decorating for him, and I've decorated his front room today, and tomorrow I'm doing his hallway. So once again, check your edge, check it's nice and even. Hopefully the camera can pick this up in some detail. Just a nice clean straight edge that's hopefully uniform, both sides, like so. Now you can test it, you can feel it sharp that way, but once again, if you put your fingers on and gently, you'll feel it trying to cut into your finger. Be careful at this point, because you're almost at as sharp as it'll get now, almost. So just a little slice of the paper. So as you can see, at the moment it's sharp, but it's not as sharp as it can be quite yet. So I'm just going to stop that there, and I'll come back and we'll do the last little bit, and then we'll show you how sharp it is once everything's done. Right, hopefully I'll see you in a minute for part 3. Thanks again, bye for now.